Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to track the journey of just one single word, but it's a big one: inclusive. Now, it's a word we hear literally all the time, right? But really mastering its exact scope, well, it kind of acts like a high definition lens for your thoughts. So let's just dive right in.
Okay, before I just give it away, I want you to think about the concept of capturing absolutely everything. Just imagine a giant net cast super wide, capturing every single little detail, leaving absolutely nothing behind. What word immediately pops into your head? Just hold on to that thought for a second, and let's see if your guess matches our focus for the day.
And boom, there it is: inclusive. Broken down into three really clean syllables: in, clue, sieve. Wielding a word with absolute confidence really starts with knowing exactly how it sounds and feels when you say it out loud. It phonetically rings out as inclusive. Saying it with certainty, that is absolutely the first step to owning it. All right, let's lock down the core meaning here. Inclusive is an adjective, and its absolute most powerful application is describing something that includes everything or just a remarkably large amount. Think of it as truly, well, comprehensive. Now, if you dig deep into a dictionary, you might actually find this secondary definition about containing two mathematical limits, but you know what? Scratch that. We're skipping that today. We really just want to focus purely on its most high-impact usage. Describing a situation, a group, or maybe a document as inclusive because it covers the whole spread is for sure its most valuable application. To really cement this, let's ground it in reality for a second. Picture this. You're studying super late at night for some massive certification exam. You're completely stressed, you're exhausted, and you desperately need to find this really specific, obscure concept in a massive 500-page textbook. You flipped in a back. Look, if the index is sparse, you're totally out of luck. But if that index is highly inclusive, meaning it captures every tiny topic, every subtopic, every little mention, it's an absolute lifesaver. That amazing feeling of relief because every single thing is covered, that right there is the exact essence of the word inclusive in action. Sometimes the best way to grasp a concept is to just look at its exact opposite. Notice the sharp contrast in prefixes here compared to its antonym, exclusive. Inclusive means drawing things in, right? Encompassing the whole lot. Exclusive, on the other hand, is all about pushing things out, purposefully excluding or leaving things on the cutting room floor. We hear exclusive used all the time to make things sound fancy, like an exclusive club or a VIP offer. But at its core, exclusive means restricted. Inclusive is open, broad, and totally welcoming of all the details. So if inclusive is our main character today, who sits in its immediate family tree? Well, we have words like blanket, like a blanket statement that just covers everything, or comprehensive, which we talked about earlier, universal, meaning it applies to absolutely everything in the universe. But hey, notice Catholic in there? With a lowercase c, it actually doesn't refer to the religion at all. It means broad or all-embracing in tastes or interests. Kind of cool, right? All of these synonyms share the exact same DNA as inclusive. They all carry that really satisfying weight of total thoroughness. Now, zooming out even further, we find this whole broader network of related vocabulary. These might not be exact one-to-one drop-in replacements for inclusive, but they for sure live in the exact same neighborhood. Words like exhaustive, meaning you've literally exhausted all possibilities because you've looked at every single thing, or a sweeping generalization. Extensive, thorough, global. When you start connecting inclusive to this larger web, you aren't just learning one single word, you're building this massive mental architecture for expressing scale and scope in your everyday conversations. And hey, a truly great word, it's flexible. It easily morphs into an adverb, like a manager speaking inclusively to ensure every single team member felt their ideas mattered. That describes exactly how the action was done. Or it shifts into a noun, like the staff praising the inclusiveness of a brand new company policy. Having a version of the word to describe an object, an action, or a state of being, it just lets the word shapeshift to fit whatever you need. Okay, this right here is probably my absolute favorite part, the word's secret history. The Latin root on inclusive, clause, close, clud, clus, actually means to close. It seems totally contradictory at first glance, doesn't it? Like, how does a word about being open and including everything come from a root that literally means to close? Well, it's because when you are being inclusive, you're essentially drawing a boundary, a huge circle, and you are actively bringing everyone and everything inside that boundary before you close it. You're enclosing them safely within the group. It completely flips how you visualize the word, doesn't it? You're not just making a list, you're drawing a protective, comprehensive circle around an entire subject.
But look, we all know knowledge fades if you don't actually use it. So here is a super quick mental exercise to really lock this in. Think of a project, a place, or maybe a person in your life right now, and just construct a single sentence describing them as inclusive. Maybe it's a meeting you recently ran or a project you finished. And hey, if you can naturally weave in an antonym like exclusive for some contrast in the very same thought, even better. Doing this simple little application is going to practically wire the word into your long-term memory for good.
All right, let's wrap this whole shebang up. Inclusive describes something that captures everything, or a comprehensively huge amount, the exact opposite of exclusive, which pushes things away. I seriously challenge you to look out for inclusive out in the wild this week. You are absolutely going to start hearing it in news reports, reading it in articles, and noticing it in those long company emails. And when you do, you'll know the exact mechanics of how it works. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep building up that knowledge and leave yourself wondering what other common words are hiding a secret history right under your nose. Catch you next time.